Summer has arrived. The light is golden, the air is warm, and everywhere you go, there's this quiet invitation to live a little softer, a little freer. But for so many women over 50, summer also brings something else, something a little less romantic. Frustration, because the truth is, getting dressed in summer isn't always easy when your body has changed. When your midsection is fuller than it used to be, when hot flashes come and go like uninvited guests. When what looked effortless on someone else just doesn't feel quite right on you, and yet you still want to feel beautiful. You still want to walk into a room and feel like yourself again, just lighter, cooler, and a little more radiant. If that sounds like you, take a deep breath. You're not alone. And in this moment, you're exactly where you need to be. Today, I'm not just going to give you style tips. I'm going to share with you a way of seeing yourself and your clothes that can change everything. Not through judgment, not through rules, but through grace. So, come with me. Let's explore what effortless summer style really means when you're over 50, when your body is yours and no one else's, and when you're finally ready to dress not to impress, but to express. Let's begin. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and thought, why doesn't this outfit feel right? It fits, the colors are lovely, but somehow it just feels off. Here's the secret, it's not you, it's the way your eye is reading the outfit. Because whether you realize it or not, your brain is always searching for something called visual flow. It's the way your eye moves across your body, and it determines whether you feel balanced, elegant, or not quite there. Now listen carefully, because once you understand this, you will never see your closet the same way again. Your brain follows lines, that's right. Your brain loves lines, vertical lines, horizontal lines, diagonal lines. These aren't just fashion terms, they're signals. They tell your eye where to go. And depending on where they appear on your clothing, they can either make you look taller, smoother, more flowing, or they can stop the eye in its tracks and say, look right here, often in the very spot you don't want attention drawn to. Think of it like this, vertical lines equals grace, horizontal lines equals pause. Now neither is good or bad, it's all about intention. If you want to feel longer, leaner, more balanced, vertical lines are your best friend. A row of buttons, a seam down the front, a flowing cardigan, a necklace that guides the eye downward. These little details gently pull the gaze from head to toe. You appear lifted, even lighter. But horizontal lines, they stop the gaze. They say, look here, and they add width. Sometimes that's what you want, like when you want to balance narrow shoulders or draw attention to your neckline. But around the midsection, it often creates the very effect we're trying to soften. Now let me show you how this works in real life. Imagine two summer dresses, both lovely, both feminine. The first has a button-down front, a soft empire waist, and a floaty fabric that moves with you, not against you. As you wear it, the buttons draw the eye downward. The fabric glides over the tummy. The high waistline lifts the silhouette, not cuts into it. You feel free, polished, effortless. Now the second dress, it's got a smocked bodice, thicker straps, and tiered seams running across the body. It's cute, yes. But if your tummy is fuller or your bust is generous, all those horizontal lines can feel like they're slicing your shape, not shaping it. And here's where it gets interesting. If you're tall or your weight is carried lower, that dress might still work beautifully. But if you're shorter or carry more through your midsection and bust, it might feel unkind. That's not your fault. It's the garment's structure. It's a reminder, style is not about right or wrong, it's about alignment. Let's talk now about layering. Because if vertical flow is the secret, layering is the magic wand. Imagine adding a sheer black duster to the button-down dress. Now, instead of one vertical line down the center, you've got three, the buttons and the long lines on either side from the outer layer. Suddenly, you look taller, smoother, more elegant. And guess what? You didn't squeeze into anything. You didn't hide your body. You guided the eye. Want to define your waist without chopping your torso in half? Place a belt just under your bust. It lifts the silhouette. It elongates the lower torso. It says feminine without saying tight. And if you prefer a little arm coverage, try a lightweight shawl, not heavy, not stiff. Something soft that drapes and catches the light, especially in a tone that reflects upward toward your beautiful face. When a garment moves, it whispers elegance. When a piece shines softly, it says presence. And when you style yourself with softness and strategy, you stop dressing from insecurity and start dressing from wisdom. Now I want to say something just between us. Your body is not a before and after. It's not something to fix, it's something to honor. And summer style is not about covering up. It's about letting the light in, about feeling the breeze. About being comfortable, yes, but also about allowing yourself to feel seen again. You've spent decades caring for others, building careers, healing hearts, and maybe somewhere along the way you forgot what it feels like to put on something and say, "This feels like me." Well, you can come back to that. You can rediscover the joy of dressing not to impress anyone else but to remind yourself that you are still here, still vibrant, still allowed to feel beautiful. Let your summer wardrobe become your canvas. Use vertical lines to paint grace. Use soft fabrics to whisper comfort. Use color and shimmer to call attention to the parts of you that smile when you pass a mirror. You don't need to hide. You don't need to shrink. You don't need to wait until you've changed something. You simply need to know this: you are already enough. And style, true style, starts with that truth. Though as you open your closet tomorrow morning, don't ask, "What hides me?" Ask, "What flows with me? What honors my now? What helps me step out that door feeling light, lifted, and fully myself?" Because that, dear friend, is what style over 50 truly means. It's not louder, it's not tighter, it's not faster, it's softer, deeper, wiser, it's vertical grace and quiet power, and it's yours. Thank you for spending these moments with me. In the next video, we'll explore fabrics, colors, and accessories that complement the woman you are today and help you feel at home in your skin, your wardrobe, and your season of life. Until then, stay radiant, stay graceful, and never forget, you are worth dressing well for, always. Do you remember what we talked about in part 1? How the eye follows lines, how vertical flow creates grace, how dressing with intention allows us to guide the gaze gently down our bodies instead of cutting it with harsh horizontal breaks. And most importantly, how your body is not something to be hidden but something to be honored. That truth is where we begin again today. But now we go deeper, because summer style isn't just about lines and shapes. It's about how your clothing feels. On your skin, in your soul, it's about texture and lightness and movement. It's about dressing for the heat, yes, but also for who you are today, not who you were, not who the world thinks you should be, but who you truly are now. You see, real style doesn't start in the closet. It starts in your heart. It begins when you ask not what makes me look smaller, but what makes me feel alive, not what hides my arms, but what softens my day. Because the moment you shift from control to curiosity, from fear to freedom, is the moment getting dressed becomes a kind of devotion. So before you reach for the hanger, ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? Do I want to feel light and airy, strong and grounded? Do I need softness or structure, brightness or calm? Because your body speaks in sensation, and when you listen, you begin to choose differently. You start selecting fabrics that breathe with you, not cling to you. Cotton voile that floats like wind. Linen that wrinkles beautifully and reminds you that imperfection is texture, not flaw. Lightweight rayons that move as you walk, or that soft cotton silk blend that feels like moonlight on the skin. You stop forcing your body into clothes and instead you allow clothes to follow your body's rhythm. In color, oh color. What a quiet medicine it can be. Color is not just decoration. It's emotion, it's temperature, it's memory. Some colors lift you without saying a word. A soft sage green that cools the nervous system. A peach blush that lights up your face like a remembered compliment. A muted coral that brings your skin to life without overwhelming it. Ivory instead of white, honey instead of beige. It's not about what's in season. It's about what feels like you. Color doesn't have to shout. Sometimes it only needs to whisper in harmony with your spirit. Then there are the details, the shape of a neckline, the swing of a hemline, the cut of a sleeve. A gentle scoop that exposes just enough collarbone to feel feminine without feeling exposed. A notched neckline that opens the chest and draws the eye vertically. A soft V that elongates without sharpening. It's not about trends. It's about feeling your body's energy and choosing shapes that echo its truth. Empire waists that flow from under the bust, not grip around the middle. Skirts that move when you move. Silhouettes that say, "I'm here," not "I'm hiding." And maybe, just maybe, you add a layer, not to conceal, but to create depth. A sheer shawl that dances behind you in the breeze. A linen duster that adds grace to your silhouette. A silk scarf in your hair or wrapped loosely around your shoulders. Movement is a kind of music. And when your clothes move with you, when they sway and catch light and flutter, you begin to remember that you are still a woman who deserves to be noticed. Not for how small she looks, but for how present she feels. And yes, accessories, but not the heavy kind, the thoughtful kind. A pair of earrings that gently frame your jawline, a bracelet that clinks softly as you write a letter. A ring that glints as you reach for a glass of water, nothing loud, everything intentional. Because elegance lives in the quiet details. Some days your summer will be vibrant. You'll want color, sparkle, sunlight on your skin. But other days will ask for softness, for stillness, for shade. Honor that too. Not every outfit needs to glow. Some simply need to soothe. Your wardrobe can be a mirror for your emotional weather. When you dress with that kind of self-awareness, you stop performing style and start embodying it. You stop asking, does this make me look younger? And you begin asking, does this make me feel more myself? And when the answer is yes, the whole world feels it. So take this with you, your body has changed. And that's not a failure, that's a testament to your story, to your strength, to your survival. You don't owe the world a flatter stomach. You don't owe fashion a sacrifice. You owe yourself only this: truth, comfort, beauty, grace. Dress for the woman you are becoming, not the one you left behind. Choose light over tight, flow over force, harmony over hiding. And know this: style doesn't live in the fabric. It lives in the way you wear it, in how you carry yourself when no one's watching, in the softness you allow yourself to feel, in the joy of putting on something that fits not just your body, but your spirit. This is what dressing over 50 can be, not a compromise but a coming home. And in our next video, we'll go even further. We'll talk about building your personal summer signature, your look, your rhythm, your elegance, your way. But for now, walk into tomorrow with softness. Let your body breathe. Let your clothing bless it. Let your mirror reflect not your size but your story, because you, dear woman, are still unfolding, and you are already enough, always. Let's take a breath, shall we? You've come so far. In part 1, you learned to guide the eye, how to use lines and movement to honor your shape. In part 2, you began to feel your clothing again, choosing fabric and color as medicine, not as armor. And now, here we are at part 3, and today we're going somewhere even deeper. Because this part isn't just about what you wear, it's about who you are when you wear it. This is the part where style becomes personal. Where getting dressed isn't about blending in or following rules, it's about creating a rhythm that belongs to you and only you, a signature, a softness, a sense of self that shows up quietly but unmistakably. Because true style after 50 doesn't chase trends, it returns to truth. So let me ask you something you may not have asked yourself in a long time. What is your essence? Not your role, not your past, not your shape or size. But the feeling of you. Are you calm like water, fierce like sun, still like earth, curious like wind? Because your signature summer look isn't just built on what looks good on your body, it's born from what feels like you. And when you begin there, your wardrobe becomes a mirror of your soul. Think of a woman you've passed once in a cafe or on a shaded street, and something about her just stayed with you. Not her outfit exactly, but the way she moved in it. The peace, the clarity, the lack of apology. That is what we're creating here, not a costume, not perfection, but presence. So where do we begin? We begin by simplifying, not minimizing, but clarifying. Look at your closet not as a collection of clothes, but as a collection of possibilities. Among them, which pieces make you exhale? Which ones make you soften your shoulders? Which ones make you feel like you're not pretending? Those are your signatures. They might not be loud, they might not be trendy, but they are yours. Maybe it's a soft kimono you throw on every morning over your nightdress. Maybe it's the blush linen dress you reach for again and again because it feels like sunrise. Maybe it's a pair of gold earrings that remind you of the woman you promised you'd become. When you notice patterns like that, you begin to build your look from the inside out. Start with 3 or 4 silhouettes that feel like home. Maybe a midi-length dress with a high waist and flutter sleeves. Maybe loose-fitting linen trousers paired with a sleeveless tunic. Maybe a full-length wrap skirt and a tucked-in top that dances with your every step. Then find your textures. Do you like crisp structure? Then cotton poplin might be your language. Do you crave softness? Then gauze, silk, or rayon will feel like poetry on your skin. If you love imperfection, lean into linen. If you love drape, find fluid viscose blends. Let your fingertips guide your styling more than your reflection. Next, choose your tones. Build a gentle color story around your skin, your hair, your energy. That doesn't mean everything has to match, it means everything belongs. Think harmony, not coordination. Maybe your summer palette is built on shades of sand, sky, and stone. Or maybe it's all blushes, olives, and terracotta like a sunset in slow motion. Maybe you love crisp white with hits of ocean blue, or maybe soft neutrals soothe you most. You don't need a rainbow, you only need resonance. And then accessorize like you've got nowhere to be but exactly where you are. Wear a straw hat not because it's stylish, but because it frames your face like a halo. Wear a silk scarf not to impress, but because it feels like a breeze wrapping itself around your collarbone. Wear jewelry that you would still wear if no one could see you, because it reflects the woman you are inside. And here's the truth that no magazine will tell you: style over 50 is not about how you look, it's about how you feel. You're no longer trying to prove anything, you're no longer waiting for permission, and you're no longer dressing for the approval of strangers. You're dressing for the woman who raised children or buried loved ones, who started over or stayed steady, who softened with time and grew stronger in the quiet. That woman deserves to feel beautiful every time she opens a drawer or ties a sash. So when you get dressed tomorrow morning, pause. Not to judge, but to listen. What is your body asking for? What is your energy craving? What is your heart ready to express? Your signature look might be as simple as white trousers and a tunic in mist blue, or a wrap dress in tea rose pink with a shell necklace you bought 20 years ago and still adore. Or it might be a matching set of pale cotton pajamas that you wear proudly to sit on your porch with morning coffee and watch the world bloom. There is no wrong way to be you, and summer with all its light and looseness is the perfect season to return to yourself. So go into your closet not to shrink or impress but to expand, to move with softness, to float not fit, to feel not fixed, to say without words, this is me and I love her. And just like that, your signature style will find you, not because you chased it, but because you finally stopped running from yourself. This is Summer Grace Part 3, and it isn't just about what's in your wardrobe, it's about what's in your heart, always. You've done so much already. You've softened your view of your body. You've reconnected with fabric and flow. You've started to define a look that feels more like coming home than getting dressed. And now, in this fourth part of our journey, we arrive at the quiet finishing touches, not the extra pieces, not the decorations, but the parts that speak when you don't. The accessories, the shoes, the bags, the jewelry. The intimate objects that sit closest to your skin, that move with your hands, that walk with your steps, and that whisper to the world who you are, without ever raising their voice. Let's begin by letting go of the idea that accessories exist to impress. At this point in life, we are no longer dressing for the outside gaze, we are dressing for alignment, for resonance, for the gentle click of yes, this feels like me. And that means accessories no longer need to be big or bold to be meaningful. They only need to be true. Start with your shoes, not the ones for formal events, the ones you reach for when you're not thinking. Because that's where your essence lives. Choose shoes that don't fight your body, that honor your feet, that let you walk for hours without checking for blisters or counting the minutes. Look for soft leather that molds over time. Neutral tones that go with everything but still have character. A pair of low sandals with hand-woven detail. A pair of white sneakers that feel clean and grounded. A soft ballet flat that hugs your arch without pinching your soul. Your shoes are not just for walking, they are the foundation of your energy. When your shoes feel right, the world feels more walkable. And now, your bag. This is not about matching your outfit. This is about matching your pace, your needs. Your rhythm. Choose a bag that feels like a partner, not a burden. One that holds what matters but never makes you feel like you're carrying the past. Maybe it's a simple tote in canvas or soft leather. Maybe it's a crossbody that lets your hands stay free. Maybe it's a vintage clutch for when you want to feel quietly elegant. The bag doesn't have to be designer. It has to be yours, yours in feel, yours in function, yours in quiet confidence. And then there is jewelry, the most intimate accessory, because jewelry touches skin, it rests on pulse points, it carries memory. You don't need much. Maybe a pair of small pearl earrings you wear with everything. Maybe a thin chain with a pendant from your mother. Maybe a cuff that makes you feel powerful even in a simple dress. Jewelry is not about sparkle, it's about connection. The way a ring reflects a promise. The way a bracelet reminds you of a summer years ago. The way a necklace sits near your heart. And it's okay to wear the same pieces every day. Repetition is not boring, it's signature. It tells the world, this is who I am. I don't need to change with every season. In fact, when you wear fewer things with more meaning, you begin to feel more whole, more rooted, more at ease. Even a scarf can change everything. A light silk draped around your shoulders. A linen one tied gently on your bag. A pattern that echoes your mood. These little details, they don't shout. They don't rush. They simply say, I am paying attention to my own beauty. And that's what accessories are really for. Not to fix an outfit, but to finish a feeling. They're the punctuation in your sentence, the exhale at the end of a breath. They are not the reason you shine, but they make the light feel more complete. So take a moment. Look at your shoes, your bags, your jewelry. What feels heavy? What feels loud? What feels like it came from someone else's idea of beauty? Let those go. Keep only what you would wear on a quiet day alone. Because if it doesn't resonate in solitude, it won't ground you in the world. And when you put on that one ring you've worn for decades, or slip your feet into those worn sandals that carry you like a second skin, you'll realize these are not just objects. These are affirmations. You don't need to prove anything. You are already enough. Your shoes know where you've been. Your bag carries only what you need now. Your jewelry reflects the light you've always had. This is not fashion. This is reverence. And in the next part of this journey, we'll go even deeper. Because what happens when you begin to dress not just with care, but with ceremony? What happens when getting dressed becomes your quiet way of healing? That's where we'll go next. But for today, let your accessories remind you, you don't need to be seen to be radiant. You only need to be real, always. There is a moment, often quiet and unnoticed, when getting dressed becomes more than just putting on clothes. It becomes a ritual, a soft return, a kind of healing. And that, my dear, is what we've been building toward all along. Not outfits, not wardrobes, not fashion, but a deeper intimacy with yourself. Because by now you've let go of judgment, you've begun to move with softness. You've chosen fabric and color with intention. You've created a signature style that feels like home. And now, in this final chapter, you begin to see what it all truly means. Because the act of getting dressed, especially after 50, is no longer about appearance. It is about presence. It is a slow exhale into your body, into your season, into the sacred beauty of ordinary mornings. You step into your room, the light is soft. You move slowly toward your wardrobe, no rush, no anxiety. Just you and the quiet understanding of what today requires, not just from the world, but from yourself. You reach for a dress that has seen you through laughter and silence. You feel the texture in your hands. You remember the day you first wore it, not because it made you look smaller, but because it made you feel whole. And as you slip it on, there is no need to fix anything. No pulling, no adjusting. Just the gentle rhythm of dressing a body you've made peace with. This is not about hiding. This is about honoring. You sit at your vanity not to become someone else, but to greet yourself. You pick up your favorite pair of earrings. The ones that never try too hard. The ones that have become a part of you. You put on a bracelet that reminds you of a woman you used to be and the woman you've grown into. You dab a touch of scent at your neck, not to attract. Just to feel like yourself, and then you pause, you look in the mirror, and instead of scanning for flaws, you witness a face that has cried and healed and softened, eyes that have seen generations of love, lips that have spoken truth and offered kindness, a neck that still lifts itself with dignity, and a spirit that has nothing left to prove. You do not need to be praised, you do not need to be seen, but you stand there quietly radiant. Because you know you dressed not for the world, but for the soul inside your skin. This, my love, is what I mean when I say style has nothing to do with age. It is not what you wear, it is how gently you wear yourself. It is how kindly you choose your textures, your colors, your rhythms. It is the way you wrap yourself in silence when the world feels loud. It is the way you create ceremony out of small things, a folded scarf, a soft hem, a necklace worn only for you. And it is the moment when you realize you are not chasing beauty anymore, you are embodying it. You are not dressing to become someone, you are dressing to remember yourself. That's the real summer grace, not a look, not a trend. Not a list of tips, but a way of moving through your day as if your body was sacred, because it is. And the more you honor it with tenderness, the more it softens for you. the more it feels like home. So tomorrow morning when you rise, let the light greet you softly, let your clothes wait patiently, and let your body guide you, not your mirror. Touch each fabric like a love letter, choose colors like you're choosing how to feel. And get dressed like you're preparing your soul for the day, not your surface, because you are still here, and that is enough reason to dress with reverence. Always. So here we are, 5 quiet conversations, 5 soft awakenings, 5 gentle returns to the woman you've always been. Beneath the noise, the roles, the seasons. You didn't just learn how to dress your body, you remembered how to honor it. You didn't just choose colors or shapes, you chose energy, presence, truth. In part 1, you saw how the eye moves and how you can guide it with grace instead of fear. In part 2, you discovered that fabric can breathe with you, and that color can soothe the nervous system just like a whispered lullaby. In part 3, you stopped looking outside for style and began building a signature that feels like a return. In part 4, you let your shoes, your bags, your jewelry become more than accessories, you let them become extensions of your rhythm. And in part 5, you dressed with reverence. You got ready not for the world, but for the soul who lives inside your skin. You didn't just watch a style series, you lived a journey back into softness, back into slowness, back into yourself. Because at this stage in life, style is not about being seen, it's about being felt. It's not about reinventing. It's about remembering you don't need more, you don't need to impress, you don't need to shrink. You only need to stand in the morning light with your fingertips brushing linen, your eyes full of stories, your skin wrapped in fabrics that move with your breath and say, "This is me," quietly, beautifully, still here. Because you are. You are still here, you are still worthy, you are still becoming. So whether you go back and revisit these parts or step into a new chapter entirely, I hope you carry this with you. Style has no age, confidence has no size. And grace, true grace, is never out of season. Thank you for walking with me, and thank you most of all for choosing to walk with yourself, always.